guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a quick and easy eyebrow tutorial. So you're going to need a few products for this. You're going to need a angled brush such as this, concealer. So you're going to need a concealer a few shades lighter than you are. So this is in the shade Golden Toffee. So this concealer is from Essence. And then you're gonna need foundation. So this foundation will be the same shade as you are. Eyebrow pencil. This is also from Essence in the brown color. Make sure that it's nice and sharpened. And then you're also gonna need like a beauty blender. Okay, so let us start. Okay, so nice and close so that you guys can see step by step how I do this. So you're first gonna need your eyebrow pencil with the brush. Okay, so we're gonna start off by brushing our eyebrows up. Okay, brush it up. Okay, and then you're gonna add a few hairs basically in the front, such as this. And then at the bottom, you're just gonna draw like a line at the bottom, but make sure that it goes along with the shape that you kind of already have. Okay, so yeah, just gonna draw at the bottom. And then we're gonna go to the top and you're gonna do like the same. So basically a line. And then you're gonna create a shape that you want and do an angle at the top. So you can already see that the eyebrow already has a shape if you compare the two. Then you're gonna use your brush again and basically blend in the eyebrow pencil into your eyebrows, and then you're gonna fill in where there's like missing hairs. Okay, so you're gonna brush up just to make sure that there's no like spots of missing color. Okay, and then you're gonna go in with your concealer. Okay, you are going to take your brush and just like get a little bit of product onto the brush. Okay, and then you are just gonna go on the bottom of your eyebrow just to basically sharpen it a bit. So you're gonna do this. Okay, so as you can see, I went a bit too high. The sun was in my eye, so I couldn't really see what I was doing. So don't panic. You can always go back with your eyebrow pencil and just fill it back in like this. Okay. So we're just gonna go back in with the concealer. So I don't like to use a lot of product when it comes to the stage, because blending. Okay, so it's less work to blend the less product that you use. Okay, so if you are a beginner, I would recommend that you don't use as much product because it's just easier to blend when you don't have a lot of product there. Okay, so you're just gonna distribute the product here. Then you're gonna use your beauty blender to blend it out a bit more, like this. Okay, let's blend it out a little bit more. So now we're gonna go in with the foundation. That's your shade. So we're gonna add a little bit of product onto the brush. Just a little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna go at the top of the eyebrow. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing we did at the bottom, but now we're gonna do it at the top. So this is just to sharpen the shape, basically. Okay, so we're gonna just blend it out with the brush. Okay, so we're gonna blend it out with the beauty blender. So you can see here, there's like a patch, right? It's bothering me a little bit. So we're gonna go back in with your eyebrow pencil just to fill in that little patch. Okay. Okay, and then use the brush again, brush up, just blend in the color. Then we're just gonna go back in with the beauty blender to blend a bit more. Right, okay, so that's done. So if we compare the two, you know, there's a difference. However, it doesn't look like too different. Okay, so it has a nice shape, it's cleaned out, it's more defined, as opposed to this side where it's not defined. The hairs are all over the place, and this is more like, you know, and it frames, I feel like it frames my face a bit more. Okay, so let's do the other eyebrow. Okay, so we're gonna follow the same steps. We're gonna brush up the eyebrow, so it's basically up and out, up and out. Okay, and then we're gonna go in and fill in hairs in the front. And then we're gonna go draw a line at the bottom just to sharpen the shape, give it a more defined shape. And then we're gonna go on at the top as well and do the same. Create like a more sharpened shape. Okay, and then we're gonna blend in the color. Okay, you're gonna brush up and out, same thing. So anywhere where there's like patches of no hair, just gonna fill it in lightly with a light hand, basically, just so that it's not too dark. Okay, so let me brush this up again. Okay, so once you're happy with the shape, you can go in with the concealer. Okay, gonna take your brush and get a little bit of product on there. Okay, and then the product. So if you get too much product on your brush, you can always dab it onto the back of your hand. Okay. Draw a nice shape. Okay, now we can blend the product out. So the reason why we use different shades in terms of concealer, so basically so you can either use two concealers, so a light concealer and a darker concealer that's closer to your shade at the top, or you can use like what I'm doing, foundation at the top, that's your shade, and concealer at the bottom. So the reason why we don't use like light concealer at the top and the bottom is to avoid the halo effect. So if you were to use like a light concealer at the top as well, then you'd find that, you know, your eyebrows look like they're floating and they have this halo effect. So that doesn't not look right? So that's why we just use a lighter one at the bottom just to highlight the shape, and then at the top you can just use your shade. Okay, then we can go in with the beauty blender to blend out the concealer. As I said, the less product you use, the easier it is to blend out. But if you want a more sharp shape, then you're gonna have to use more concealer. So on this eye, I used a little bit more concealer than I did on that side. But yeah, just gonna blend it out till you're happy. Blend. Then we're gonna go to the top of the eyebrow. Okay, the sun is getting in my eye, so I just want to get in closer so I can see properly. Okay, so we're just gonna sharpen the shape basically using the foundation. Go in with your beauty blender and blend out your foundation. Like that. Okay. Gonna blend this out. All right, guys, so this is how the eyebrows turned out. I feel like they look very natural. They're on the thicker end, but that's how I like them. That's how I prefer them. Yeah, they look natural. I hope this tutorial was easy to follow, and then I hope that it was very helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Mwah.